Welcome, everyone. My name is Rachna. I'm the CEO at the Graduate Students Association at the University of Melbourne. So this is our first Monday afternoon webinar, and we are very conscious that our graduates have a big month ahead, a month full of exams, a month full of completing assessments before you have your break. This is our first session at 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon. So today we're going to commence our discussion about Refugee Week, a very important week in the history of Australian society. But before I do that, I'd like to acknowledge on the land that we're virtually telecasting from, the land from where I am, the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to the elders past and present and recognize the strength and resilience and capacity of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait people in this land. So today commences the beginning of a very important week, and that is Refugee Week. And Refugee Week is the annual peak, the Australians' peak annual activity to inform our community about refugees and celebrate their positive contribution in the history of Australia. So the first Refugee Week was actually undertaken in 1986 by AUSCARE, and it happened in Sydney. And following that, the Refugee Council of Australia in 1987 became a co-organizer, and then we've had a national event following that year, every year, about ensuring that the week is actually spent in recognizing the contributions of refugees all over the world. So Refugee Week is a real good platform where positive images and messaging of refugees can be promoted in order to create a culture of welcome through the country. It's been very unfortunate. As much as very recently, we have heard some unpleasant stories about people focusing on differences, the issues of racism, arising in our community. That is very distasteful and hurtful. So the aim of Refugee Week is another mechanism to celebrate and create a better understanding between the different communities and to encourage a successful process of integrating and enabling refugees to live in safety and to continue making a valuable contribution to Australia. So over the past 20 years, Refugee Week is celebrated in many other countries. And while there may be minor differences in the dates and other, the dates of the dates where it's celebrated in Australia this week, we commenced it on today, and we'll have a week-long celebration. And I think the general purpose of this is, as I said, is to educate us as a community about who refugees are, why they've come to Australia. Actually, for people to understand the challenges that the refugees face before they come to Australia, and to acknowledge their contribution in our community, and to also ensure that we all play a part. It is not about them and us, but about us providing a safe and welcoming environment. And also for many community groups around the world to talk about all the positive contribution refugees have provided in our community, be it in sport, in art, in music, in their fields of work. And what I noticed that every year I have been very, very fortunate as a part of my own family to kind of experience the stories of refugees. And I'm so grateful that I've had this opportunity to listen to amazing stories, to meet amazing people who have influenced my life and my values. So, I am indebted and I'm grateful to the communities that I have met. And I feel the place that I have for refugees in my heart is so special because I think they have helped me create what I am today. So to celebrate today, we have a wonderful artist, an Afghani woman, Shegofa Rahimi. So welcome, Shegofa. It's my honor to have you in our program today. And before I start talking to Shegofa and hear about her beautiful story, she's an aspiring artist. And today, GSA is going to listen to Shegofa's story about her journey as a refugee. And we're so grateful for her to share this story. But the most important thing is she will be also talking about her virtual exhibition that she currently has on the Southern Migrant Refugee Center's website, which is the exhibition of infinity. And her artwork is actually it's a body of work that speaks to her audience, and it defines her unbounded endeavor and a never-ending pursuit, and her wealth of actually understanding about the curious world and her curiosity. So Shegofa, welcome so much. Welcome with a warm heart to our program. And please tell me a little bit about yourself, where your country, Afghanistan, your little journey, and how the journey was to Australia.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Rachna, for having me here today. So it's Shegofa, and I am from Afghanistan, but I flew to Pakistan as an immigrant just when I was very small. I even don't remember the age, but then we lived there in Pakistan for some years. And then it's because the country that we belonged to was not having a good situation at all. So my mum and my brother, they decided to come to Australia by boat, and they were successful to be in Australia by boat. And then my mum sponsored my three sisters. We five of siblings to Australia. So it has been a very long journey through Afghanistan and Pakistan, as because we were just the refugee there as well. We were not supposed to get a proper education due to the documents and everything. But through that days, I learned artworks from some of the institutions that helped me here to have my exhibitions in Melbourne, in Mildura. And when I came here, so it was 2018, I came to Australia when my mum sponsored all of us. I just started from Mildura, a small town in Victoria. I lived there for 9 months, and then I came to Melbourne. But there in Mildura, I had a very good experiences of joining volunteer work with the community services, and also having a couple of my exhibitions. And it was loving and caring people around and supporting all the way. So I really appreciate Australia welcoming all the refugees with a very open heart. I really appreciate that.
What an amazing, amazing story, Shegofa. And I mean, I guess, for the communities and our university students who are listening to you, many of them who themselves would have shared an experience of a refugee, is I wanted to kind of reflect, if you're comfortable, about being in a part of a country where, I guess, as you said, you don't remember, even when you came into Pakistan, but you're living in a community, you're living in a country, and how to be in a country, but you don't have your rights, where, you have limited education, limited ability of your rights protected. So that must have actually given you some inner strength as well as resilience? And what are your thoughts about when you look back at your childhood?
Yeah, so while thinking about back the days that I was in Pakistan and in Afghanistan both, but I would definitely say that I'm lucky enough to be here in Australia because I can see the very two different aspects, which in one of the place that I wasn't able to go outside, even I wasn't safe, even not my family, not my mom, my siblings. So, but whereas comparing that one with Australia, that's a very secure and safe place for me to. I would say that this is the land of opportunity for me. I have started so many things that I wanted from the very beginning of my life in Australia. And so in Afghanistan, we've been going through so many difficult times, as because my brother and my dad, they were kidnapped by Taliban. Just sorry about like sharing these old things, because it's such a bad experiences for the people who belongs to Afghanistan, and they are forced to leave their country just due to the war, and things are going on, and they won't be safe at all in their own country. So it's a very good opportunity moving to a secure place, a place that you can get what you want to. Yeah, so I'm so happy to be here in Australia.
And thank you, Shegofa. I mean, I think I just wanted to emphasize that, you know, people who listen to your story, that those journeys are not very easy. They are extremely, extremely difficult journeys. And I think as community members, we understand how difficult that journey is. And that's why the value and the contribution that the community provides to Australian community is, you know, it's incredible. I think I would like to really talk a little bit about your artwork.
Yeah.
And I have when I was watching your brochure, and you know, you have wonderful themes that you have in your artwork, and we're just in the process of sharing some of that artwork on the screen. I just wanted to talk to you about it. When did you realize that you have a love for art? Was it as a child, or is it something that you picked up when you came here?
It wasn't as a child, but the things going on in my country, in Afghanistan especially, and in Pakistan as well, just over the nation that we belong to, because we were not safe there as well, and we were being killed absolutely in Pakistan as well. So that's why that make me like, I'm a not good writer, but I started to paint, and the motivating issues or the current issues of those days made me feel that I have to paint and I have to raise a voice against this terror, such as like being killed in a country where we can't do anything except raising our voice to the world. And most of my painting, they are in this exhibition, from in the virtual exhibition. They belong to so they belong to the women, and also infinity. So women, I would say most, because it was all about the situation and about the worst behavior to the women in Afghanistan plus in Pakistan. So that's why that forced me to paint. So I think that that brings my voice against the terror, and also just that's a wonderful way to express my feelings to the world.
Fantastic. So for people who are watching, you know, this video would see some of Shegofa's paintings are up on the screen, And, there's such inspiring pictures, and pictures that say a beautiful story. It says, colorful. What I love, one of the pictures that, it depicts about the motherhood, it talks about, and I think the most impressive one that I've seen of yours was one that on Anzac Day, that I think which was viewed through the AIMS website. Tell me something that actually inspired you to draw something about Anzac Day, and what was that meaning for you?
Yeah, so definitely, I would really, really appreciate the people who sacrificed their life during the, if I'm not wrong, during the First World War.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why from always I really love the people who fought for their countries. So their sacrifices is not to less to forget. So we have to remember. I think that there should be several events for them to be remembered, that they have sacrificed too much for the country. So yeah, and I shared this one to AIMS Australia as well, and they definitely appreciate the idea of the way that I kind of give credit to, try to give credit to the people who lost their life and did lots of sacrifices for the country.
Thank you, Shegofa. I want to talk to you a little bit about life in Australia, and particularly in Melbourne, where there must have been a long period of time when you've been away from your mum and your brother, and then you found yourself a home with your husband in Dandenong. That is, that's where you spend predominant part. Tell me a little bit about your study. I hear you're studying a diploma in community studies, and what's that area of passion that you have to pursue studies in that area?
Yeah, so it has been really a long time. Like for me, it's a long time because it has been just more than a year that I am living in Dandenong with my husband. But still, I would say being in Dandenong is another good experience. I have started meeting with lots of beautiful people around, and supporting people who supported me throughout my studies. Yeah, I am studying a diploma of community services in Chisholm, Dandenong. As I said before, that I worked for as a volunteer in one of the community services at SMAC in Mildura. Then that just inspired me to start to help the people, to listen to the people, to know about these stories, to know how the people have lived and how they are living, what are the situations that are bringing them to a community services. So that made me feel like I have to do this one, because I was in love with that services to the community. So I started my studies on 2019, last year in July. Yeah, so that's a very good experience of helping out people.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And would you, I think one of the important things for all of us in our community is, the importance of harmony. I think valuing, respecting each other, and being able to, as much as you value and respect Australia, it's important for us to all live and, be happy, work on each other's strength. So what would your dream message be to all of us in the community, as a person who has, have to fled from your own country, been in an interim country for a period of time, and taken you a long time to be away from your family, and you've come here on this, incredible journey, and you're contributing to such positive attitudes to our community? What would be in the Refugee Week a message for all of us to think about?
Definitely, that would be not losing hope at any cost. Yeah, so I being as a refugee here in Australia, I would say that when I was in Afghanistan, I was hoping there would be some day that I would be achieving all the things that I wanted as always. And this is the day that I got it. So this is why I would say never lose hope. You will get the things that you want to one day.
Absolutely. That is such a positive message. And for the people who are watching our program, there is a beautiful exhibition, a virtual exhibition that Shegofa has put together. And we encourage you all to look at the website. Please contact her via email. There's an email address that is there. Please ensure that you appreciate the art and purchase some of the beautiful paintings, which are extremely affordable. And I think that Shegofa's artwork tells a story of a very powerful and resilient refugee woman who made her journey from Afghanistan to the soils of Australia and continues to contribute in a very positive and affirmative way into the community. She's actually a symbol of hope to our own community, but to the hope for the future of our community and the world, to understand that global harmony can only give rise to peace and actually have a cohesive community. So with a lot of gratitude from the bottom of our heart, Shegofa, we wish you all the very best in your future. And we are absolutely amazed and thank you for your contribution to our society.
Thank you so much, Rachna. Have a very good time. Thank you.
Thank you. So, what a beautiful and pleasant story was that. And to join that journey with me, I am extremely delighted today to have Tessa, Tessa Gould, who is our council member, who was the GSA council member in 2019-20, and I've had the privilege of working with Tessa last year. But I thought as an organization, because we are in this world where we don't have face-to-face contact, it's very important that our graduates who are listening to our program also get to know our council members. So Tessa has very gratefully agreed to come on board. So welcome on board, Tessa.
Thank you, Rachna.
And what an inspiring story was Shegofa's story.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Shegofa. And it's so fantastic, I think, to recognise Refugee Week and to understand the contribution and the richness that refugees bring to our society.
Absolutely. So Tessa, thank you so much. And first of all, congratulations. It's lovely to have you back on the council as an executive member for 2020-21. And I thought what the purpose of having you all come and attend these sessions is really, we in our conversation with graduates have noticed that, the dialogue and the conversations that we have with our council members and the different graduates is in the heart of and life of graduates, so that we can plan our services really, well. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, when you joined the council in 2019-2020, did you know a lot about GSA before you joined GSA?
I didn't know too much about GSA, to be honest, until I met a couple of people and decided to run.
Yeah.
I had a bit of an idea that it was a representative body for students, but in terms of, and I knew they had a Wednesday barbecue,
Yes.
but beyond that, I wasn't too sure about, the priorities of the organisation and the activities.
Yes. And if I would rightly say that you, for a period, you were there as our women's officer supporting us, and then you joined the executive committee. So as a leader of an organization, what was it that actually, how did you develop an understanding of the different issues faced by graduates apart from your own experience?
I think one of the best things was just listening to people.
Yeah.
There are so many amazing students out there in our graduate community with such a diversity of experience in terms of professional, cultural background, whether they're part of a family, their age, and there's so many people with so many different things that they bring to the graduate student community. So it was really wonderful, I think, just to have those opportunities to talk with students, listen to students, and also look at some of the great surveying and data collection that GSA does, and understand, some of the issues that weren't exactly apparent to me. One of the issues that has come to me over this time has been the difficulty of student parents. And we had a wonderful families officer last year, Lubna, who taught me a lot and shared a lot of knowledge. And then there were many people in my course as well who also had families, and they were able to tell me about their experiences and the challenges. And just being able to listen was a real privilege to hear from all the different students.
Yeah, that's so important, isn't it? As a council member, I mean, I think the graduates who are listening to Tessa, they are really a good point of contact for the 15 members who are on our council, and their details are on our website. Is sometimes it's an important thing to actually just share that moment and talk to them about what the issues are, because I think, as Tessa has said, many of what we have found at GSA being very effective is the 15 council members who actually carry those voices and concerns and bring it to us at the organization, which we can effectively lobby about, or actually be able to, communicate that to the relevant people in the university or outside the university. And I think I resonate very much, Tessa, when you talked about graduate parents, even for you in your own profession as a person who's doing a post-graduation in teaching. I think understanding and being able to understand the perspective of a parent also allows you to prepare and, deliver good quality education to the students who may be coming from diverse homes. And I think it's a part of your education in a university setting. Would you agree with me?
Oh yeah, it's of so much benefit to me, not only in terms of the work I do with GSA, but in terms of my future career, and any sort of, there's just so much you can learn by speaking with different graduate students. Learn all sorts of fascinating things about the world.
Fantastic. And Tessa, I'm sure apart from majority of the work that we all come to do at GSA is to be good advocates and be representative bodies. One challenging bit for all of us is when you are on a council, you also have a governance responsibility, to be suddenly a decision maker, be able to manage budgets and manage risks and other things. And having worked with you, I absolutely understand the passion and commitment you put towards learning. How was that journey of learning for you about understanding about what your governance responsibilities are?
It's been a fascinating journey, and an incredible opportunity, really. The Council of GSA, as Rachna said, has the governance responsibilities of the organisation. So as well as being student representatives, we really function as sort of like a board for the organisation. So for a master's student like myself who, didn't have a long professional career before returning to studies, something like this was a crazy opportunity and well out of my comfort zone. But one that, with the support of GSA and the training opportunities that we've had, we've been able to make decisions about budgets and strategy and risk really confidently with the training that we've been given. So I guess, yeah, it's been a bit of a blossoming, I think. There was a lot of nerves at the start with the responsibility of the role, but we've certainly worked together and gained confidence. And I'm looking forward to doing the same again with this new council.
Yeah, and I think it's very, very exciting for you to come back again, after an exciting year where the Council of 2019-20 have been able to establish a strategic plan. They have put some systems and processes in place to help us govern better. A great group of staff and council members who have, endeavored to work in setting up a new constitution. I think, your next phase would be bringing a lot of new council members who are joining you in your ongoing journey, because we've had quite a lot of changes and we're getting new people to join the council. And also we're going into a period where post-COVID, things will be very different for everyone all over the world. So one of the things to members who are coming new, Tessa, like I remember walking into GSA itself about 7-8 months ago and having that little, butterflies in the stomach, thinking, God, what am I walking into? What would your advice be for people who are coming new onto GSA Council about, feeling warm and welcome? Any tips that you thought was helpful for you?
Well, great question. I think coming into the role with an open mind and an open heart, I think there are so many wonderful people in GSA who work really hard. So I think prepare to be, inspired by others and encouraged by others, and use that positive energy to do the same. I think, don't be nervous. Remember, you are a student, and the best people to govern and run GSA are graduate students, and your own experiences are, important and useful. And
I think it's, I really want to resonate what Tessa is joining us. I think for me, the most important thing is, look around people who can help you, because there are lots of people who are there who you don't need to know the answers of everything. I didn't know any of the answers, and I can tell you I was really supported and mentored so beautifully by all the staff and, all the council members. And I think the importance of actually being able to just have that openness and being able to listen, very important. Tessa, one of the qualities that I've admired in you as being a staff member who worked with you is the importance that you acknowledge differences among people. And, it's a good thing that we talk about it in Refugee Week. I have found you to be such a strong advocate for things that are different. And is that something that you have always had a passion for? Like, I noticed that you like to go to bat for people who are different, or, who may need additional needs and be a bit outside the rules. Is that something that is a passion that drives you to advocacy work?
I think so. I think there's such strength in diversity, and everyone is different and has their own strengths and their own things to bring. And I think, sometimes in structures like the university, some of the really rich experiences that people have and the challenges that they're going through make it quite difficult for their voices to be heard. So I think it is important to me, I think, to, take a role like GSA Council and use it to help people to have a voice. As a GSA counsellor, you've got the resources of staff and, the support behind you. So to take those resources and use them to help people who, for whatever reason, due to language, family, finance, ability, need some extra support and help, that is something that I'd love to do.
Fantastic. So I think one of the things that it's important to talk to graduates during this period, and I'm sure I've got Natasha has also been on as a member of the attendees, and Tessa and council, that, it is a difficult period that we've experienced over the last 12 weeks. And probably this month will be pretty challenging for many of us who would be still, having exams in front. You have your placement issues, and Tessa has taken a very proactive role in trying to address issues that are related to placement. And so it is important for the graduates to reach out to our council members and talk about issues that impact you, because sometimes it may be about helping you navigate your own faculty, being able to say, what are the mechanisms that you can use within your faculty to kind of address your issues. It may be about certain policies of the university, as Tessa said, may not be applicable to you and may not fit your circumstances, because we all know one kind of size does not fit everyone. So I think being proactive, and rather than, I've heard many people who over the last few weeks say to me, I'm thinking of deferring because I don't think I'm going to be able to cope. Before you take a decision like that, reach out, talk to the council members. Their contact details are on our website, or reach out to them through the university email addresses, because I think raising these issues are important, because over the last few weeks, I know Tessa has played a very important role in trying to get a Facebook page help started up in relation to issues related to placement, and we can continue having those dialogues that are there. So Tessa, in relation to the work ahead, do you have any 2 or 3 achievements that you kind of thought about, thinking, wow, the first year was a lot of learning, and I've been able to get my head around a few things? Is there anything exciting you're looking forward in term 2 at GSA?
Yeah, there is one very exciting thing that I'm looking forward to, which is enacting our new constitution. So at our annual general meeting, we passed a brand new constitution with big reforms to our governance structure. So I'm really, really looking forward to enacting this governance structure, in which we're going to have a lot more graduate students involved in the running of the Graduate Student Association, and also in more specific roles, so that people can really use their strengths to better guide our student association to be more representative. So that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. And then I'm also just looking forward to seeing how we can bounce back from this. What are graduate students going to achieve? How can we help them? I'm sure that many of them will be doing some important research and work that will really shape the world post-COVID. So I'm looking forward to hearing all about the wonderful work that graduate students will be doing in our university and the broader society.
Thank you so much, Tessa. It's always, it's wonderful to have you on our GSA Council, and a commitment to stand back for election and coming back again shows your ongoing commitment to GSA as a part of the graduate community. So I'm sure the staff and the other council members look forward to doing our, continuously lobby, as Tessa said, this is just not about the pandemic. It is the impact it has had, on us now, but it's also the post-COVID-19 period is the transition back into a campus life, the transition back for many of the students who have lost their meaningful employment to secure back the employment. It is about people who have gone through financial distress to ensure that they are able to be supported to secure some kind of meaningful employment. It's for graduates who are finishing up at the end of the year, who are finishing now, to seek some gainful employment in the sector, for people to be supported in identifying what the opportunities are there that they've learned from this experience that they can be, that they can use for their future. It's about looking at families who have been impacted by the illness and being able to actually regroup and use the learnings of actually this terrible issue that we all had to face to understand that we remain safe as a family. But I think more for me, after listening to Tessa and Shegofa, it's the commitment of our cohesiveness as a community. Sometimes when we are going through a very difficult period, we want to find somebody to blame. And when it's somebody to blame, we forget that our comments, our actions often hurt someone else, and we need to be responsible for that behavior. So issues of racism, issues of family violence, issues of discrimination cannot prevail, and the pandemic cannot be an excuse for that kind of behavior. It's about us being our consciousness to actually accept diversity, to respect the differences, and to grow from that strength is what our community is about and GSA's fabric is about. So thank you so much, Tessa, for joining us this afternoon. And we look forward to working with you during your tenure as a Council GSA member. So I'd like to invite Tavita, our General Manager for the student engagement activities, because I think every week the team relentlessly works together to develop a range of programs trying to address around 30,000 student needs in the best possible way and be able to come up with an approach or a plan to ensure that we meet some of the needs of our graduate community. So thank you so much, Tavita, and I'd like to welcome you to share your information with us.
Great, thanks so much, Rachna, and a big thanks to Shegofa and Tessa for being on board today. Some great insights into Refugee Week and also the work that GSA Council is putting together to support graduates. So not different than any other week. So the student engagement team put together a range of interactions over the week, being it first week of exams. So tomorrow, we're going to start off with a yoga session at 12:30. So please log into our website and Facebook to log in for that. It's free, just a yoga session we're running for an hour, 12:30 to 1:30. We're also running a transition to work session tomorrow. So in partnership with our friends at University of Melbourne Employability and Careers, we'll be putting together a session, a workshop on how to look for that job. So looking for jobs efficiently, making sure you spend the right amount of time job hunting, and also supporting putting together cover letters. So some of the areas which are sort of a lot of grad students have asked for support around is trying to find the right job and also get those cover letters right. So that's happening at 3 o'clock tomorrow. This week, Thursday, we're going to have a guest speaker. George Habib is the Associate Director for Wellbeing at the University of Melbourne. So he's going to be talking to Rachna about the initiatives that they're putting together to support graduates at the University of Melbourne. So some great insights into that department. Also on Wednesday, we have a drop-in dance session to sort of help pass away the stressful times that are sort of lurching in at the moment. So that's an 80s dance session. So all you're going to do is click on the link around 12:30 on Wednesday and just dance the hour away there with Christine from our student engagement team. After that, on the Thursday, we are also getting supported by academic skills, and we're putting together a presentation to talk about how to deal with exams and how you prep for exams, and just going through some of the resources that are available from the University of Melbourne and some of our community partners to help get through the stress, but also to make sure that you're handling that pressure during exams. So that's on Thursday at 3 p.m. Earlier in that day, we've got conversation club. So we've got our team set up a time for students to come and discuss their favorite movie. And this week it is Harry Potter. So if you're into the Potter series, please jump onto the conversation at 1:30 on Thursday to have that conversation. And that was just after our Melbourne Uni sport lunch class. So we've partnered up with Melbourne Uni to provide a sports session there. So it's called Mindful Meditation. And that's on 12 o'clock on Thursday. So again, please look at our Facebook page to find the relevant links. And then on Friday, we're going to end the week with our Feel Good Friday session. We're welcoming back Miller, and she'll be drumming away on her guitar there with some pop music to sort of welcome in the weekend, and hopefully that you can sort of set your mind at ease until it starts your study program again. So that's the full week from us. In conjunction, we also run our coffee promotion. So once a week we release vouchers to coffees, 2 coffees per student to redeem at their local cafe. So follow during the week, so probably around the Wednesday, Thursday, we're releasing more for the next week after. So please be on the lookout for that. So you just take the voucher to your local cafe in your area. So we've got about 15 cafes we've partnered with to collect your free barista coffee. So a big week this week. And I guess be mindful of all the things happening on our Facebook page. We sort of tend to go there first, and we're trying to operate a lot of the transition to work opportunities. So on the Tuesdays, and also academic skills, as well as working in conjunction with CAPS, Counselling and Psychological Services, to provide access to meditation or mindfulness programs to get through this stressful period. So yeah, we'll be working in partnership with them over the week. And obviously Mondays will be dedicated to meeting some of our counsellors who have been with us. So thanks, Tessa, and also those that have just joined us. So to get their insights and their expectations of the work they want to be doing over the course of the year. So yeah, another big week this week, but this will be going on to the rest of June. So just keep in touch with us through our channels. You can get in touch with us 1-800-GSA-HELP if you want to call it in. Otherwise, info@gsa.unimelb.edu.au to send us an email. Thanks, Rachna.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Davita. And, please note that all these sessions, these recorded sessions, are put back on our blog session on our website and promoted on our Facebook as well as the social media. I just wanted to emphasize that due to exam week, our new GSA President Jeremy Waite and our General Secretary Lillian Day couldn't join us this week, but they will be joining us probably next week or even earlier than that. And all along the week, we'll be having our new GSA Council members joining me, as Tessa did, to share their ideas and knowledge of what they're planning to do for the next 12 months. And you're very welcome to send your suggestions and ideas to our council members and the staff for us to progress some of the work that we've planned to do. So a big thank you from all of us, and we look forward to meeting you tomorrow. Bye-bye.